This time we're looking at Gala Ordric, the latest addition to the Gala roster. Ordric's a light axe, but he has his own unique combo as well as echoes of Gala Alex with gauge and skill chaining mechanics. His overall roles are those of accessible and spammable dispel as well as being a flash burn enabler if necessary. If placed in a team with other flash burning units, however, he can become a damage powerhouse and constantly throw out high potency skills. As always, my name is Xenozilus, and let's get straight to it. Gala Ordric's first ability is Undying Will, granting Ordric a 3-level skill reservoir, scaling attack rate when he uses skills up to a maximum of 10%, and granting a defense amp every 2 times he uses a skill, with a cooldown of 30 seconds between activations. The first skill that draws from the skill reservoir is Overkarma, dealing 1170% damage across 3 hits, inflicting flash burn and dispelling a buff from the target. Overkarma can also chain into itself if recast within 3 seconds. This chained Overkarma doesn't inflict flash burn, instead dealing 1404% damage across 3 hits against flash burned targets. The second skill drawing from Ordric's skill reservoir is Circlet of Exaltation. This deals 1586% damage across 2 hits. When chained into itself, it deals 1903.2% damage across 2 hits against flash burn targets. Each level of skill reservoir costs 1129 SP to fill, so Ordric can quickly build up and spend his gauges on his native skills. Ordric brings the coveted secondary axe co-ability of plus 30% critical damage, as well as a light 6% defense chain co-ability. As for the rest of his kit, Ordric has dual curse and poison resist, and his final ability is Gauge Accelerator. Setup-wise, Ordric's strengths lean him towards Flash Burned Punisher, Axe critical rate, and a source of 40% skill damage, being the standard go-to Principal Ordric. Where applicable, slot in Paralyzed Punisher, Flurry Strength, and Flurry Devastation. Gala Ordric's execution is slightly simpler than Gala Alex. Use S1 to apply Flash Burn and Dispel if necessary, chaining S1 into itself if you need multiple dispels. Once a target is Flash Burned and doesn't need dispels, spam S2 chains. Between skills, try to fit a full combo to sustain gauges. It's possible to use Ordric's full combo between skills and keep chain active while sustaining his gauges if his attack speed buffs are active. But in Sinister Dominion, the buff nullification means he can only fit 4 hits of his combo between skills before his chain expires. So overall, where does this leave Ordric? Well, he ends up being yet another significant comfort pick for his respective Legend Agito fight in Tartarus. His spammable dispel on his S1 means that he's the typical go-to pick for handling stacks of Relentless Rage after saving a few gauges. Once his dispel responsibilities are handled, he flips to spamming his S2 for immense damage against flash burn targets. With Ilia being a popular pick for handling Portal through in co-op for Legend Tartarus, Ordric doesn't even need to inflict his own flash burn. It mostly just ends up being applied by Ordric as a secondary effect of handling dispels. While Ordric also brought the first instance of Defense Amp to the light element, it doesn't really see much use in Legend Tartarus. Mechanics in Legend Tartarus are either already survivable or just lethal to the point where even maxed out Defense Amp can't save you. Defense Amp also prefers additional appliers to be viable, and I consider Summer Shell to be a mostly niche pick until Cygames decides that they'd like to introduce a Sinister Dominion boss with high flash burn resistance. Defense Amp could be minorly useful for helping survive mistakes in Lilith, but for the most part it doesn't really factor into the flow of the fight. Overall, I'd say Gala Ordric is a good pickup if you intend to use him in co-op Legend Tartarus. He's not particularly required for solo, and even in co-op, the majority of people can get away with not bringing Gala Ordric. There's 4 team slots after all, and if you don't have Gala Ordric, chances are someone else does. Did you pull for Gala Ordric? How have you found his gauge mechanics? Part of me is happy, but also sad that they didn't introduce chain mechanics for going between skills like Gala Alex. Skill chaining is a cool mechanic, but I guess having skills read like Yu-Gi-Oh cards was a bit too much of a barrier for some. As always, take it easy, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video.